Okay, guys, but seriously. Well, I am indeed working on some material, such as some of my Xbox reviews, and also my Batman script, reworking that. I thought I would do something like this to strike while the proverbial iron is still relatively hot, and on that note, and you're gonna hear that a lot, this video, I think I will finally formally address as the as the live action adaptation of Death Note, which began streaming on Netflix this past Friday, and oh boy, what a film it is. Since, and just for the record, that this is not a review who or a rant. I mean, the review will be done later time after I let this thing sit for a while. I just want to get something out to address my thoughts on the matter, and also, oh, I could honestly be a bit as angry as all other people are right now, and they have a right to be. But in my case, I don't think it's worth that I'm actually going to take a different approach because, as I mean, I did finally I did watch out more of a curiosity the other night and once started streaming, and I'm just gonna be very upfront with the idea that it's bad. I mean, it may not be as bad as some other ones I've seen. It's at least marginally better than Dragon Ball Evolution or this year's version of Ghost in the Shell in live action, but it's still pretty bad, man. However, it's bad enough that I think it may actually say pass for an unintentional parody. I honestly am amused at with all, given how drastically altered everything else. I'll get to that in a moment. That you actually wouldn't have to change all that much about the how this film to make it like a Death Note spoof. For mean, I mean, so just seeing all the people in the cast trying to take this seriously, but also at the same time trying to hold back the laughter trying to live these lines. I couldn't hold mine back because I submit that this adaptation definitely fails at being a serious film, but it's probably the biggest unintentional comedy I've seen since The Room, or maybe Frank. And it's also very well documented about what happened in this movie that it was originally intended as theatrical release, and before it got shifted to the platform after Warner Bros. Decided to focus their energy on Harry Potter, Lego, and these extended universe. And there's might be another reason behind that, and because it's clear to me at least that it would have bombed to release in theaters, even given how this summer hasn't really gone the way many have expected to. And on that note, I'm gonna be addressing the film from two major perspectives. One, how it feels an adaptation. I'll let you know that's the area that that's a big problem with the only one. And two, how the film fares its own, and because some people have tried to defend the film on its own merits, but there's not been from the source material. Even if I were to apply that mindset, it still wouldn't work out for me, at least. And and aims at all of my skepticism and cautious optimism was so justified given how it turned out. Especially given up on a video made by my associate Chris CSAndreas about the matter. That's that's. However, and sometimes with this VOD platform, I've actually been surprised more than once. I did not know what to expect from New Voltron. I actually enjoyed New Voltron so far. I didn't really expect from Stranger Things. I ended up really enjoying Stranger Things. I can't wait for the second season later this year. I didn't know what to expect from Iron Fist. I mean, and that's actually not as bad as a lot of people said it was, for me at least. And I mean, I'm probably watching it to get ready, so I know what's going on to finish, but that's important right now because this film is honestly a hot mess of a thriller. I mean, since it is really that bad. I mean, in that sense. I mean, I know I had to approach source material a different way than with source material, because it's compared to everything that goes in the shell. At least it makes clear that it's also continuity. But even without a table, it just seems to have the most basic concepts of story and characterization disregarded, herded, and it often feels like the result of a fusion between one of those like school specials and a sci-fi originals movie. I mean, I will get a couple good things out of the way first. Here's the main. Notably, I think Willem Dafoe probably was my favorite part of the film as Ryuk. And I mean, even though they do take creative license with his character. I mean, after he's yeah, I mean, in the original version, he seemed much more ambiguous. Ambiguous from as to how he approaches matter, and he seemed much more curious and downright nasty. I mean, that this one is not more cruel, man. Oh, but uh, the first performance, however, he understands what kind of movie he's in, and he's delightfully hammy in his role, man. Sense, man. And the budget obviously is not obviously. See, I just found out on Death Note Wiki that it's about $40–50 million, and with that in mind, that's most of the effects work being done with him, and it's actually not that bad, in my opinion. I mean, it's obviously not as good as some an effect like say Gollum or Ultron on his for me, but I mean because because the visuals themselves, man. I mean, there are some probably one of the few things that actually work about the film, given how cinematography by David Tarazol, who's worked a lot with people like George Lucas and Wachowski's. He's mean, he's it's still that's one of the few things that seems okay. And as for the other casting, I mean I get the impression that most of them just don't want to be there either. I mean, they're just trying very hard to hold back their laughter, because of some car when they make a car payment. It's I mean, it feels like a lot of them just trying to work out a speeding ticket. I mean, and and as for the Keith Steinfeld, how does L mean that's L mean a lot of people worried about that, but I kind of agree with Chris on the matter because I mean, in my case, he seems to be apart from one of the few writers actually making an effort to at least try to take something seriously, even though everyone else has mixed success in the matter. I mean, ever since, but and I understand that the casting and the setting change are definitely key problems. I acknowledge that it was the same deal with this Ghost in the Shell remake, but in a similar fashion. It's not quite as bad as that film, but it's definitely not the main problem since I mean because of how dense the source material is. I and they attempted to cram roughly 108 chapters of manga and 37 times of anime into a single 100-minute film, and the results went about as well as you would expect, man. Because as the results are often unintentionally hilarious. The leaps in logic the characters make are astonishing. Since have had problems with these DC films, but it seems less like like the like the like how any other good work we've had lately, like, and it feels like a bad episode of CSI in many ways. And usually Netflix is better than this. They're not totally infallible. They do who have some bombs on their site. Given they work with Adam Sandler as of late. And but it's not just the way that they cast some of these people. It's also the way they behave. I mean, because and Nat Wolf as Light. I'm not gonna use her name, and because it won't make much difference at this point. He seems less like the cunning young man, and from the Swords of Taylor, more like me when I was in my emo phase in high school. Given how he seems to have borrowed, he looks less like the character. He looks so like he borrowed a kind of like a Abercrombie and Fitch version of Vanilla Ice. He comes off less like the as like the man who wanted to change things in the world, and more like like a really psychotic version of Zach Morris. It's basically, and that's how I feel. This whole thing is it's like if Saved by the Bell if Zach went crazy and tries to kill everybody. That's really, and even though I can understand how some people feel about the gore. Or some of the kills are kind of creative, but that's also kind of a double-edged sword because of how the intention was to frighten me, but every time that there's a scene where I was supposed to take seriously, I just burst out laughing. That I actually had to take breaks more than once. I had to, just to break the film up in chunks because of how hard I burst out laughing. If ain't that in sense, and because the first victims, as opposed to people that are trying to attack someone, they're just your standard cartoon high school bullies and played by obvious 20 somethings or 30 somethings trying to play teenagers to make success. That's geez. I think the parents do better jobs of faking being teenagers. Since and so, and also the rules in the note also glossed over results. They get a cursory mention once or twice, but and then the first victim gets beheaded in a over the top fashion. It looks like less. It seems like less in place like in Death Note, and more like something in a Happy Tree Friends cartoon episode of South Park. It doesn't really help that the victim's name is Kenny. Actually joked, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny!" Kenny at this whole thing, and since yeah, and it becomes increasingly clear as one goes on that even if they kept most of the elements the same, they still would have been hard pressed to pull this off. Because and while I was initially a dismissive of the creators as how they approach the controversy, it's clear to me that it's not the main problem with this film. It is just, it seems like the very idea of narrative cohesion is alien to the film. That's, that's I would expect. I usually judge whenever I put something on that it has a clear idea of a beginning, a middle, and an end, and in some cases a prologue, or an epilogue. I want to add this scenario. And it's not just the names that names that names with the casting that would do this. Since the other ones has far as well, since Mia, is a snarky cheerleader as opposed to some goes to a yonder goth idol. Light's father name doesn't matter because of how little impact he actually had on me. Rather than being a tough but fair her father and policeman is basically virtually every widow police officer and father in every other movie like this. Seriously, he's that generic to me. To me, I mean, and there's also some inconsequential criminals, which also meets some um equally unintentionally goofy face. Which is makes it doubly ironic given how Ryuk in this one says the death must be plausible, and yet the man responsible for the death of Light's mother somehow injures himself with a steak knife as he's having dinner at the exact same time Light is. I can understand if you're holding people hostage when you're robbing a liquor store, or if you're going after someone in school, but I think if you are a corrupt individual and you are a victim of your own hubris, you kind of have that coming. Since I don't think Wingo is going for comedic sociopathy, but at this, I don't think it would be that hard to re-edit this into a black comedy at all. Since it was just so unintentionally hilarious, I kept expecting to see Jonah, Silver, and Crow at the bottom of the screen making fun of the movie. If you'll pardon referencing Netflix, like, like relaunch that doesn't totally stink. I mean, and and by the time the ending, which has the most cliche a high school prom scene, virtually every other thing ever. I just it's at that point, like that last half hour. They came so close to having something that would have left an impact on me. But by that point, it became really clear that the it wasn't just as a setting heading that was a problem. That's the bigger problem that's was were more common ones that the nonsensical B movie plot, the overblown style, which sacrifices this is the as a story in favor of the visuals. As the inconsistent characterization, and and also all the internal logic, like and subtle nuances, as were basically jettisoned, and since I get the inherent feeling that no one really cared in this one, since they seem less concerned with trying to deliver for a good film and more concerned with trying to make a quick buck of the name on its own, and it actually is kind of cute how they think they might get a sequel out of this, unless people feel like laughing until they wet themselves, so pardon that joke, look, I don't see that happening since you can file that one under sequels to The Last Airbender or Dragon Ball Evolution, I mean, because overall, I just want to get something out, how to express how I feel. As a fan of source material, I'm disappointed, and I will be very blunt. As an adaptation, yes, it's bad. I mean, it may not be the worst of its kind I've ever seen, but it still falls victim to a lot of the same pitfalls many live action versions of anime do, no matter who actually makes it. I mean, but even then, other ones do have something going for them since even though the live action Attack on Titan films are really bad, they at least have titans eating people and people trying to stop them. They don't want to spend like half a movie on Aaron's daddy issues, to my knowledge. I mean, and the live action speed, he raised our Wachowski's at least a method of the madness. I mean, since the Wachowskis knew they wanted to recreate the look and feel of 60s anime live action with modern technology. He lost similar techniques to use a Matrix trilogy if they do that. I mean, yeah. And there are other ones in the pike, I mean, but like James Cameron's Battle Angel Alita, and even disregarding some of the things he said, and I mean, it does not bode well for any future ones. I mean, since it's because it's it feels like that it's definitely particularly telling. Yeah, they did it this way. Hey, and I definitely hope that because I mean it may not be the worst overall one I've seen, but in terms of the franchise, basically the series Batman and Robin. It is that disappointing since I have not seen some live action dramas from Japan, but I heard they were good, so I might watch those in the near future. I mean, when I get a chance to. Also, I'm gonna recommend the source material since essentially this is basically the X-Men Orange Wolverine of how they handle the series and I mean so bottom line is this a good adaptation of source material? No, it is not. I mean the casting is one problem, but it's still small potatoes compared to the overall bigger problems of narrative incoherence and inconsistent characterization. I mean, is it a good movie on its own? Definitely not. I mean, since there are a lot better options out there, including ones that are actually on Netflix, X-Men, and one of the things I appreciate most about the platform is how they have a good selection that changes every once in a while, and also, again, I recommend that you can go watch, watch the new Voltron, go watch Stranger Things. You could. I'm also working on getting caught up on my Marvel vs. Defenders, and I will probably do a full review another time after I let this sit for a while. But my word, I mean, since anyway. But if you have seen the film, don't forget to tell hi what you think. I mean, regardless of whether you've seen source material or not, I am genuinely interested to hear what a lot of people have to say because that's one good thing that's coming out of this. That's a lot of good content come for this, and it just it's staggering given how after 10 years, here's how much I still enjoy the source material and how this film took the potential it had and basically a set straight down the drain at 0.5 at light speed. And so, after I post this, I'll get back to work on what else I have planned. And I definitely want to get my Batman review out for a month is out, so I'm gonna have the slate somewhat open for September before I go back to school. I'll start taking class again. That'll be all for now, and I am Kira.